What's going on, you guys? This is another episode of G.F.E, God, Family, and Everything Else podcast. My name is Kevin, and today I wanted to talk to you about another special one. This one is more focused on my family and about how much time flies by, to be quite honest with you. So in just a few days, so today is I believe the 21st. Today's the 21st. And on Saturday, my oldest son, he will be turning 11 years old. And us as a family, we plan on doing a lot of things together. We plan on going on his special day. The day before, we plan on going to kind of this place where it's like a family fun center. You know, go out and do that, have fun, and then on Saturday go out to dinner, or it's vice versa. I can't remember quite sure, but that's the plan on what we want to do. But what amazes me is that Kai is turning 11 years old, and amazes me is how tall he's gotten. If you see him, he doesn't look 11. He grew fast for his age, for whatever reason. And there's not a lot of tall family. There's actually not a lot of tall people in my family. Actually, with my brother, my sister, my mom and dad and I believe I'm the tallest one out of us all. And I'm only just barely 6 foot. and then you have my wife's side, and there's no one that's pretty tall in there. So somewhere down the family tree, Kai got that, I'm just gonna shoot up really quick type of gene. I don't know, but he grows quick. He eats, and he's also involved in sports. And 11 years old. Time flies. Yeah, I mean, just the other day, you know how Facebook likes to send you those like reminders or those memory posts and things like that. And I remember receiving one, and where it was showing me holding Kai in the hospital the day he was born. And I had the opportunity to, kind of wash his hair for the first time. But he had to go immediately to the nursery because there was a little bit of infection. So my wife didn't get to see him immediately, so I was always popping in and out, checking on Kai, checking on Ayano, checking on Kai, checking on Ayano, making sure that they're both all right. But I was always so glued to Kai's side because I wanted to make sure that he was doing all right, and he seemed perfectly fine and everything. They just wanted to do that because I guess it's just standard procedures due to, a common infection that happens when a baby is exposed to the air or to the environment for far too long. But yeah, I mean, I was able to feed him for the first time. The nurses taught me how to hold him and feed him with the bottle. And being a dad for the first time, like I'll be honest with you, a lot of parents are how they show on TV shows where the parents are always like freaking out or always scared and stuff like that. I didn't have that sense of fear, to be quite honest with you. When the day that we found out that was pregnant, like I was excited. I was super excited. And we didn't even try that hard either. It seemed like the moment we decided, then boom, Kai was like, I'm here. And then of course through the 9 months, I was making sure that I was still with Diana, making sure that she got whatever that she needed. And then the day Kai was born, like, we ran to the hospital, and I was excited. My heart wasn't pounding or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that Ayana was all right. I wanted to make sure that Kai was all right. Make sure everybody was all right. My mother-in-law was there. So it was great. And then we stayed, I believe it was like 1 to 2 days in the hospital. And then we came home. What I find crazy is that in Japan, I believe you can stay in the hospital for up to a month. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's that long before the mom is ready to go home with the child. In the United States, it's kind of like a couple days, then boom, see ya. But yeah, when we made it home, it seemed right. taking care of Kai, and yeah, I mean, and he grew quick. I mean, now 11 years, and what he's involved in right now, if you check him out, he's right now he's playing football, flag football. The moment we moved here to Japan, he's playing flag football. That is something that Ayano found, and football's not even a big thing over here. It's slowly growing, but thankfully we found him to play that. He hasn't played baseball yet. I don't know if he's ever interested, but quite honest, I'll be honest. I don't know if I want him to play baseball in Japan, because it seems like baseball is like the military. I mean, you are playing from morning until night training, and it's like you can get burned out. But you see a lot of children that enjoy it, so more power to them. But with Kai, I want him to experience many different sports and not sign his life away, sign up for a year doing just one thing. Granted, he has been playing football for about 4 years now, but again, it's just what the challenging part is, that we can't find something where he can just try it for a season or two, and then change to something else. So it's very hard to find something like that. So just recently, at the park across the street over here, they built a basketball court, and the moment that came up, like all these kids just came out, boom, out the woodworks. And what's crazy is that, I think that's what a lot of the children were asking for. That, soccer and baseball is one of the big sports in Japan. And the moment that basketball court showed up, all these kids showed up with their basketballs. It's like they were waiting for something like that. And I think it's important to have more sports available for the children to try out. So Kai played over there for a while, and he has a friend that's included in basketball. And asked if Kai would be interested, and I think Kai would be great due to his height. He's never played the game before, but he picks up pretty quickly if he decides to put in the work. Like the same thing with football. Like of course he's never played before, but when we introduced him to flag football when we came here, he was interested. They moved him as a middle linebacker, so he played really good with that. We call him the flag hunter, so he was really good at pulling flags. Then the coaches moved him to running back. He was really good in that. Then now with his height, I think he's excellent with it, because he's fast, and you can just throw the ball up and he can just pretty much jump over the kids that are guarding him. So he really likes that sport. But he tried out basketball last week. It was kind of like a club thing where they just invited you, and then they practiced a little bit, and then they had like scrimmage games after that. So we went and watched them, and I was trying not to be critical or anything like that, because it was his first time. But I do see the potential, and then also I do see that there's a lot of work that needs to be done if he wants to continue with that. But we do also would like him to continue with his football as well, because we think it's just great. It'll complement each other in both. But yeah, and now he's 11, and just 7 more years to be 18. 7 more years. And I have to be honest, like I'm thankful for my boys. I'm thankful for Kai. He has a big heart. I would say, out of the 2 brothers, he's the more sensitive one. And his younger brother is the more tough, like hard-headed one. And, boys are boys, and then definitely they will, drive me up the wall at times. And, definitely be the father that I need to be for them, so they can grow up and doing the right thing and grow up to be a man, learning and understanding responsibility and hard work and discipline, things like that. But I try to follow what the Bible clearly says, is that I need to train up a child in the way he should go, even when he is old. He will not depart from it. And that's in Proverbs 22:6. And it's true. Like I'm trying to train them up in the way of the Lord, being truthful, honest, caring, loving, more responsible. The way to be a man and to grow up, and then when you enter into society, and honoring and loving God. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is build that foundation for them and for Kai. So it's definitely a work in progress. Kai is obviously getting older. He's being more exposed to a lot of things. And so it is going to be challenging. And this is where I just pray and ask for God for the strength and the wisdom on how to do it effectively. So it doesn't seem like I'm barking at Kai. You know, he has his questions and I share it with him. I do want to be able to just have him on this channel, to be honest. I have an idea that I want to try to do where it's kind of like maybe a once a week, where it's kind of like a father-son podcast. So we can just sit and talk. I'm going to have both of my boys, because if I only have Kai, Noah's going to get upset and wants to do it too. So that's the plan, and I believe it'll be important. You can hear from what Kai's thoughts are. You can also hear that he's bilingual, and get to know my son and the blessing that he is to me. I know at times he may not feel it because Dad gets upset with him, but it's like rightfully so. It's because I'm trying to communicate, and I love them. And honestly, true love is when you have to be that father figure. You can't always be their best friend. You have to raise them up and train them. You know, let them know when they're in the wrong. And you know, as a kid, they see it as a different way. They're like, Dad's being mean, but you know, one day he'll get it. You know, because it was the same thing for me when I was growing up. I thought my parents were being mean to me and strict, but you know, now that I have kids of my own, I see exactly what they were doing, and I know why, and I'm thankful for it. To be quite honest with you, I'm thankful that my dad was there, my mom was there. They both worked hard, and I appreciate everything that they've done and continue to do to this day, honestly. Sadly, they're not together anymore, but you know, I try my best to keep in communication with them. And growing up, my relationship with my dad was not that great. I was a very independent person, and I kind of did things on my own. I learned on things on my own, and we weren't so close as I would like. And that is something that I'm trying to not have happen with Kai and I. Yes, we bump our heads at times, a lot, I'll be honest. But it's not intentional. I think it's just something that where I have such high expectations for him that I need to understand, though, that he's still a kid. And so I'm also praying for the Lord for the guidance and the strength with that. And then just so Kai can see that I love him. At the end of the day, it's about that I love him and that I'm always going to be there for him. And I'm thankful that God has allowed him to experience another birthday, turning 11. And yeah, it's awesome. I can't thank God enough, and I'm just excited to see what God has planned for him in his future, on what he's going to do, because Kai is a very talented athlete, and you know, he's much further ahead than I was when I was in school. I mean, he's bilingual. He's learning Japanese, speaks English. He picks up math a lot quicker than his dad. I try not to show that, but you know, my wife is more the math side. But yeah, it's going to be a fun celebration. I'm looking forward to this weekend. And you know what? It's cool. Like, one of his gifts, and he's turning 11. One of the things that he asked for a gift is just to sleep in the same room with us. Now, I'll be honest, as I'm like, you 10 years old, no, you sleeping on your own or anything. But then now I kind of rewind and I look back when I was a kid. I didn't do that a lot, but when my parents gave me the opportunity that I can sleep in their room with them, you know, I jumped at it. So I get where Kai's coming from. Like, he enjoys his room, but you know, he also wants to be around us when it's nighttime. So that's a gift that he asked for. So we're like, all right, that's all you want? Okay. I mean, he could have sat there and been like, I want a cell phone, I want a PlayStation or anything, but no, it was just, I want to be able to sleep in the same room with you guys. I'm like, all right. But afterwards, no. After that day, going back to your room. But, you know, why not? Why not? So, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of just share that with you guys about, you know, my son. He's turning 11. Just I'm very proud of him and on who he is and who I see him to be. And I just pray that God blesses him many, many, many more birthdays, and God blesses him that he makes a positive impact on other people's lives. I mean, he does that already. I mean, with a lot of the kids here, even the younger kids, they're excited that they get to play with an older kid. A lot of the moms see that, but you know, I just pray that he carries that over when he's a teenager and then more into an adulthood. And you know, he just understands that he just needs to continue working hard for what he wants, and then ultimately at the end of the day, he understands who's there for him, who God is, and who loves him, God, his family, and grow and worship the Lord, and then doing wonderful things in other people's lives and his life. So, but that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. This is G.F.E, God, Family, and Everything Else podcast. My name again is Kevin. And I have a few other things that I wanted to talk about, and I've sent out a whole bunch of invites yesterday because there's a lot of people I would love for you guys to meet and interviews. So hopefully that I've received a response on some of them. We're just trying to get things scheduled because I'm really bad at scheduling, especially when it's like I'm double booking or anything like that. So trying to get that worked out. And yeah, you know, and then I have one guest that's pretty big. If that works out, not sure how it's going to work out, but we'll see. But yeah, you get to hear everybody's testimonies, hear their stories, and that's what this podcast is about. So until next time, please leave a comment, hit that like button, because I want this channel to grow. I want this channel to get out there for people to and to see. I want this channel to be that positive impact on other people's lives, and at my life as well, and for my family. I want to stay accountable to the Lord. I want to continue growing in Him and learning and reading the gospel, and I'll letting my family know that I'm always going to be there. So, all right, until next time, peace.